Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo. And the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. We off the record. We off the record.
What up? What up? What up?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's been a while. It feels like I ain't gonna lie. It's been a while. Ain't trying to like justify the microphone. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Sports Scotty B. Life has been life, right?
Yeah. We have a lot of stuff going on. So TBT's been going on. As you know, the championship just happened Sunday. Then we have the Olympics going on. Among other things. I'm coaching high school football. Camp just started. So a lot of things have been happening to where it's like, it is what it is. We're figuring out our way as we go along, kind of, sort of, kind of, and we're maintaining. So, but now we're back. We have some, we have a chance to talk some sports because it's a bunch going on.
Right.
You got the Olympics, NFL training camps coming on. I mean, we could talk TBT if we want to, baseball if we want to, basketball. So
tell us about your experience in Philadelphia
at the championship. All right, so it was good. So it was at Drexel University. It was the Ohio State alumni versus the Houston alumni. Now, as we know, I was covering the Houston team, but my main thing was my main objective was to get as much content for both sides as I could. One of the best parts is that you get to see guys play that you may not have. I mean, I don't want to say forgot about,
right? But
somebody like a Jared Sullinger, like he's played in the NBA. He's like an Ohio State legend, Right. And then you got guys that were members of the Houston Final Four team just from 3 years ago.
In Boston, if I'm not mistaken.
Sullinger played in Boston. He played in Toronto. He played, I think it was Boston and Toronto. And he may have played other places as well. But it was cool. It was cool. So he ended up hitting the game winner. He got MVP of the tournament. CP3 was there. It was a bunch of people there. It's like, this is a very cool event. And those guys play hard. Because think about it. You're playing for $1 million.
Right.
So you're playing for $1 million. And so think about when we was playing basketball back in the day. We was playing 21 and somebody had 19 or somebody had 20. You got hard fouls. So it was a dope game. The Ohio State alumni won. They ended up winning by 4. And it was a good experience from Houston to Philly. It was just a good experience. And then now, that was actually the first time I ever witnessed or experienced confetti coming out after like a championship game. That was kind of cool too, because you just see everybody's excitement and things like that. So it was dope. I'm definitely gonna be there again next year, wherever it may be.
I'm gonna be there. That was a cool concept. Because you do have a lot of NBA, and I guess like I started thinking about this with like the big three, right?
Mm-hmm.
We ran the ball.
Focus, man. Focus.
Yo, that's crazy. But anyway, so I guess Ice Cube, he had the initial thought, right?
Right.
So he said when he saw Kobe Bryant play his last game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gave him the idea of the big three. And then you look at like the big three, and you see those guys, and you're like, okay, those guys can still play,
right?
Because they don't have to go through the like impact of a
full season,
NBA, season. And then like you look at this type of tournament, you're like, okay, there's some guys that can ball. That, maybe they can't play in the NBA, but I mean, just because you don't play in the NBA, doesn't mean you still doesn't have skills.
Like you got somebody like, remember Andre Roberson used to play for OKC.
Right.
I think he played for somebody else, but he played, I want to say like 8-9 years. He was like a first round draft pick with OKC. He was like their defensive stopper. Like you put him on your best wing guy.
Remind me of Doug Christie.
Yeah.
Modern day Doug Christie.
So he was playing for the Colorado team. And they lost to Houston. I mean, they got their boots smoked by Forever Cougs, but I just realized, like, man, it's a lot of guys that could really still play, that could play ball. I ain't gonna say still play. There's a lot of guys that could play ball. I mean, there was some good basketball being played. So shout out to the Forever Cougs Houston alumni, as well as Carmen's Way or whatever it was, the Ohio State alumni. And it's gonna be good. I think next year, because those guys from Houston, talking to them after the game, going in their locker room, they were pissed. It was like, and I think it was more than just the money, right? I'll bring up one other thing. It was Louisville versus Kentucky. They shattered the attendance record. Had 13,000 people at the game, and you're like, wow, right? So that game right there told you that, one, that rivalry is still alive, Kentucky versus Louisville, and people care because you get 13,000 people in there, and it was packed. In Philly, it wasn't 13,000, but it was packed. The record before that was like 7,200 at Wichita, so they almost doubled the attendance. So you could have just imagined what it's going to be like next year.
So you said something that kind of triggered thought. You said those guys were pissed. Do you think it was just the competition aspect of them and just losing and being that close to winning, or because so $1 million is $1 million, right? I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not like a lot of money.
And so each player would get like 62,000.
Yeah, so 62,000. It's a nice chunk of change to have, but it's not like exactly like life changing or anything like that,
Right.
I'm sure those guys, like I said, they're going to take that money all day, any day of the week. But it's not to the point to where like it's going to change too much,
Right.
So now I can see.
So I think that those guys know, like, I wanna win. I want to win the money, and you playing for the money, right? You playing for the money. Some of them guys probably do. All of them need it. It's not like they all need the money, but somebody like Jared Sullinger, who had 2 or 3 NBA contracts and is still playing professional ball in China, he may necessarily not need 62,000. Just I'm not gonna listen. If you give me 62,000, I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, but he could, here's some spending money for it, whatever. But you got somebody who may just be playing in like France or overseas somewhere that don't have $1 million contract. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but those guys were playing hard. Like,
because you got to think too, you could probably like get some looks.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There's gonna be some guys that get some looks. Absolutely. Because some of the guys are still young. Some may be in their late 20s, or some may be in their mid 20s. It's all age ranges, but it was dope. It was dope.
It's a testament to how tough it is to play like in the NBA, like in any professional sport. But you look at it like with the draft, and you look at it with players aging, and you start to hear these names. You're like, man, that guy just dropped off the face of the earth. But the reality of it is, it's just that competitive. And
Right.
You know, if you can't make an NBA team, you can go overseas. You can go down to the D League or G League.
And a lot of them are gonna go back. Some of them, their seasons start in like a couple weeks. You know, so they're going overseas and they're gonna go play. And here's the thing, they're gonna play a season, and some of them may go to the because a lot of guys, not a lot, a few of the guys from certain teams were playing in summer league, and they're gonna be playing, and some of them may get picked up to play G League, because most guys that's playing summer league, if you wasn't drafted, you going to the G League,
right?
You know, so or overseas. So you still got a ton of guys that's gonna get an opportunity, and this just gives them another opportunity. So I ain't gonna lie, I want us to interview the founders of the TBT. I think we can make that happen.
How long has the TBT been like in existence?
This is the 11th year. Okay. It's the 11th year, so 10th or 11th season. I forget. But yeah, man. And this is this is Ohio State's their second championship. So, you know. So I guess we go to NFL real quick. Let's go to the Olympics. Let's go to the Olympics, because man, oh man, these Olympics have been interesting, right? I think that. So the 100-meter finals was on Sunday, and literally the 100 meters happened, and 2 minutes later, the last shot was made for the TBT championship. And when I mean that was probably the best 2 or 3 minutes of my life at that moment, because that was one of the greatest races that I've ever seen in my life. That 100-meter race was, first of all, I've never seen a 100-meter race where everybody ran sub 10, right? And I don't think it's ever happened. Then the dude hit a hook shot to win $1 million for his team. But going back to that race, I think that Noah Lyles, you know, he's a Virginia product, but he's pretty boisterous. He has a big personality, and I think a lot of NBA guys was hoping he lost. You know, and you know, I don't know if they wanted him to lose, but it's like, man, you gotta deal with him now, you know. So if you don't know, I forget who won the championship. I forget, and he said, I think it might have been the Warriors, the last championship. But he's like, how are they world champions if you know if you're not playing any teams from other countries and things like that. But that had got a lot of back and forth. But regardless, he ran a hell of a race. For him to actually be in last place and end up in first in 100 meters is crazy. So
yeah. So let's talk about the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than basketball, I wouldn't say, and track and field for the most part,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I'm a huge, like, just Olympics fan. Like, I'll watch the basketball games, I'll watch the track and field,
mm-hmm.
everything else, I could take it or miss it. I really like what they're doing with the coverage. Like, Snoop, let me tell you, I don't know if anybody's stock has rose more to Snoop's right now.
Yeah, I mean
America is loving.
He's Snoop.
I know. This is funny. I was watching it, and they had Flavor Flav on there, and they were just talking about how he had him and I guess Serena Williams' husband
mm-hmm.
had went in together to pay for one of the athletes' apartment.
Okay.
While they were over there or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember I was like, where did Flavor Flav get any money from?
Oh, he got a ton of money. Flavor Flav has a ton of money. All of those.
A ton of money?
Yeah, I bet you if you look it up, Flavor Flav he's a multi-millionaire. Flavor Flav has endorsements. Flavor Flav, it was on all those reality shows. Flavor Flav is not I don't think Flavor Flav is a broke guy.
Okay, so hold on. Let's before you look it up. Is he over 5 million?
Absolutely. Are you serious right now?
Would you say that he's over 10 million?
Yes.
You think Flavor Flav's net worth is worth more than 10 million?
I'm not counting that man's pockets, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that man's net worth was $20 million. You think I'm gonna be surprised? I'm not.
You think it? So you think he could possibly be worth 20 million?
You know what?
I'm go 2 million.
Scott.
Let's see.
Scott, you're worth $2 million.
Nah,
Yeah. Okay. I ain't saying you got $2 million in the bank, but you think Flavor Flav is worth $2 million? That's it.
I think 2 million. That's what I'm going with.
Hold on. Let's see. What is Flavor Flav's net worth? Because that what you was talking about, it was worth $2 million. Oh, he said $2 million in 2024. He looked it up. Yeah, he looked it up. That man looked it up.
No. So look, what I was thinking of is
okay.
He had a pretty rough go with being in debt for a while now. I don't know the specifics of it, but he's got like 10 kids or something crazy like that. So he had like a whole bunch of child support going on. It was a lot going on with him.
Well, it's not like $2 million is like chump change. It's not.
No, $2 million. But if you think about it, right? So all the endorsements, all the shows, everything that he's got going on, that I mean, Flavor Flav has probably been eating for at least 40 years.
Yeah. 80s. Yep. 40 years.
Yeah. I mean, I've digressed, but all right. So the basketball, right? What are your thoughts on the basketball team?
I think, and I don't know if this is a hot take, because I know we had this conversation about this team versus the dream team and things like that.
And that's where I was actually going. I was going to circle back to that conversation. 3
Yeah.
games in, what do you think about this team?
4 games in, they won.
Okay.
They won. They beat Brazil.
Okay, yeah, and they got what is
Serbia tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
So I will say that I think this is probably the most complete Olympic team ever. I think that if this team was to go up against the 92 Dream Team at that time, how that team was constructed at that time, that this team would beat the Dream Team.
Okay, so you've came around a little bit. So they're a complete team. I'm not saying that Steve Kerr is doing a bad job.
He's doing a great job. Personally, that's what I feel. How I feel.
He's doing a great job, but he still, in my opinion, has not figured out the best combination. I think he's still, because guys are still getting used to playing with each other, and he's still trying to playing basketball or playing on the team together.
My bad. You're right.
But I still think that he's trying to figure out how to maximize certain lineups. I mean, he took a lot of flack for not playing Jason Tatum. Halliburton is really like, I don't want to say he doesn't fit, but I don't think he really knows how to use him yet. I think he's doing a decent job with using your brother or using, Anthony Davis, but I think he's trying to figure out. I know one of the biggest critiques is, should Kevin Durant be coming off the bench?
I think that is the best. I think Kevin Durant should be coming off the bench, and I think the United States benefits from having a 7-foot killer coming off the bench. Right? Because Kevin Durant, first of all, Kevin Durant can start for this team. I think everybody and their grandmother knows that. but Kevin Durant could also start for every other country. And if you have that person coming off your bench, that says a lot about your team, right? I think that says, yeah, are too much. I think that Embiid should be coming off the bench, but I understand why Embiid starts also, because I think that Embiid is one of those guys that needs to get going, right? I think that let him stay warm. You just finish warm-ups. Now you good.
So I think the other thing is he's working back into shape, right?
Right.
He doesn't seem like he's in the best shape. And a lot of that could be like he was coming off an injury in the playoffs, and he's still kind of getting used to that. Embiid deserves to be on this team, but he's on this team to guard the Joker. Like, he's literally going to match up with the Joker, which is ironic because I thought about this today. Every time they're supposed to face off in the NBA season, it feels like Embiid is
hurt. Yeah. Unless they're playing in Philly.
Right.
So I'll say this. I don't think it matters. If Embiid doesn't play against Serbia, which he's going to play, I don't think it matters because team's just too good. And they're going to beat Serbia by 20 again. And it's going to be like, oh.
So we got a good question. I don't know if you're going to
you want me? Okay.
Yeah, you got to post it.
No. Could he have had him? Yes. But did he make a mistake? No, because there's only one team in the Olympics that scored 100 points every game. It's the United States. I mean, and let's be honest. White is playing some good basketball.
White is playing some good basketball. Yeah.
So no, I personally feel
he's what that team needed.
Don't get me wrong. If they add Jaylen Brown and take off Derek White, I don't think they miss a beat, right? But here's why I'm not really upset with them not adding Jaylen Brown, because I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown is I'm not saying that he has ego or he wouldn't be a team player, because I think he would. I think he would.
You can see it during his Boston season. I mean,
and I feel like it was one more ego that Steve Kerr probably would have to, smooth over. It's like, so Derek White isn't a superstar. Jaylen Brown is. So it's like, but clearly Derek White is, being surrounded by those guys, is playing some good ass ball. So, and if he happens to sit Derek White for a whole game, which he won't because he plays too good of defense, but if he has to sit him,
was needed.
Yeah,
between him and Drew Holiday, that's what's needed.
And the other thing is, you can't have 4 guys from one team on the daggone Olympics. You can't. First of all, 3 is a lot. I don't recall ever there being 3 people from one team on the Olympics. If you can remember, then you tell me. But I never. So Phil says, "What about Halliburton? What about him?" I mean, so yeah. So if you take, because that's another shooter. But if you take Halliburton off and add Jaylen Brown, and you got, first of all, that looks crazy. You got 4 Celtics. No,
I like Halliburton.
Yeah, and he has a purpose. Halliburton's purpose is the same as Devin Booker's purpose, right? Well, he can play a little bit of defense, and they do play defense barely. But you're there to shoot. That's your role on the team is to shoot. All right. Derek Brown, Bam. I said Derek Brown. That's football. Derek White, Bam. Anthony Davis, Embiid. Those are your defenders. Those are your prime. LeBron and KD have been playing some pretty good defense, but Drew Holiday. Those are your 5 main defenders. Those guys. If you want a defensive team, those are the 5 guys you're going to put on the court. So those. Hey, these guys are. It's a well put together team. I don't think that there's not team that's going to be able to beat them. They're not going to have enough. France I don't think. Listen, France has been struggling in this tournament, so I have the United States winning, going away. I don't know if it's going to be.
What? So I think most people had the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Canadian team.
Aren't they done? Didn't they lose?
They lost, but I liked everybody that they have on that team. Like that was good with Jamal Murray and
So wait, so are they done for good, or
I thought you get 2 losses.
Well, you get losses in pool play. So I highly doubt somebody has 2 losses in pool play, and made it to the quarterfinals. But if they lost, I think they lost in the quarterfinals, or did they beat Greece?
Now I gotta look it.
Yeah, I mean, I could pull it up, but nonetheless, I feel like the United States men. So let's go to the women's side before we even go any further. We gotta give a shout out to the Nigerian women. Yeah, they lost, but they are the first African team to make it to the quarterfinals. So shout out to them. Unfortunately, they had to play the United States, but they played them well. Right. I mean, it ended up being like a 14-point game. So I mean, shout out to them. I mean, that's the United States women. They it ain't. Most games aren't close. So
I don't think. So I heard this stat, and I have to look it up. It's like the United States women have not lost something like 30 years, or
it's been since the 90s, and like so coming into the Olympics, I think they have won 55 straight games. So during that time, they've only had 2 games where they've won in single digits. This is crazy. They have 15 games that they've won by 40, and their largest margin of victory, I believe, was 65. Don't get me, but the closest game they had was in the last. It might have been the Olympics before. No, it was 2016. It was Russia. They was 4 points.
So do you think because the women are used to playing internationally? I mean, prior to I know now they're going to make more money and the TV rights have opened up. Mm-hmm. Shout out to WNBA, but most of those players used to get their money traditionally overseas.
Right?
So probably was an easier adjustment for them. To, just international play.
I think that is the case. Also, they just a whole lot better than than the rest of it. Now, again, I'm not trying to say it's because I'm Nigerian, but I would say keep a lookout, because who the Nigerians may end up getting in 4 years, maybe who they probably should have tried to get this year, and they probably wouldn't have been playing in the United States in the quarterfinals, is Erica Ogunbowale. And if she would have been on that team, it was only a 14-point game.
Right.
She averages almost 30. So I mean, it would have got a little crazy. I think the United States still would have won, but you add somebody like that, shoot, man. Feeling all these questions. But he had some good questions. That's why we like him. Will FIBA rules make the NBA a better product? That's a really good question.
That is a good question.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. The only rule I want to see is the goaltending rule. I love that rule. But you can't, and they actually use FIBA rules in it's a combination of FIBA in college and TBT, right? But so you get of course you could, if the ball is on the rim, you can slap the ball, take the ball off the rim, but you can't do it on a free throw. You can't do it on a free throw.
Yeah, it makes it almost like NBA Jam. Remember, like you
Mhm.
can just block anything. I like that rule as well. I think the NBA could benefit from using some of the FIBA rules. I don't know if it's necessarily a better product,
Mhm.
but I think the NBA adapt, right? Just like sort of like how soccer adapted and
Mhm.
how football was adapted to where you start to see some of these other leagues and you're like, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Right.
Let's try it in our league.
Like the NFL with the XFL.
Yes,
and,
it's
and
the law.
stadiums.
XFL.
Everything, like everything from the first XFL
Right.
with the cameras and things like that, which I mean, they end up working. And we're gonna get to football real quick, but real quick about the Olympics. I know you said you mainly watch basketball. You need to broaden your horizons, but whatever.
I did. So this year was one of the first years I watched gymnastics.
And gymnastics is always good. So it was really good. It was really good this year. Like it was really good this year. I think I got Simone Biles, and she's clearly, she's like the GOAT. I think.
Yeah, but I like the Brazilian girl. I can't think of her name. I like her story.
They all had a story.
It's a whole bunch of stories.
There's always a story. Simone Biles got a story. I mean, so here's my thing. I think that with Simone Biles, she had a lot, like, they flipping in the air, and she had, I guess you call it the case of the what's it, the twisties or whatever it is, where she really didn't know where she was in the air, which is really dangerous. Yeah. And so that's why she backed out in 3 years ago.
Yeah, because a matter of fact, it was a big thing because she said that she was choosing her mental health over everything. Everybody was like, "Oh, your mental health," and they gave her. To be honest, that's when I got hip to her because she, to your point, she was like, if I'm mentally not in this or my mental health isn't right, it's dangerous.
Right, absolutely, and so she has that story. You have Jordan Child. She had some injuries that stopped her as well. And
yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That's the one that had the 3 ACL.
That's the Brazilian is the one that had the 3 ACL injuries and is Andrade, Rebecca Andrade. Yeah. So nonetheless, it's a story. I think that when it comes to the Olympics, I watch most of the sports. Some of them, I make glances so, for instance, synchronized swimming, right? I'm only gonna watch that once every 4 years. I don't even know where to watch synchronized swimming other than NBC or USA during the Olympics.
That joint was killing me, man. I was like, man, get back to the track.
Yeah, so then you have track and field, right. And you had the situation with Shelly Ann Fraser, and Sha'Carri Richardson, where they wouldn't let them go in, so they didn't warm up. Shelly backed out of the. She said she wasn't gonna run anymore, and then Sha'Carri, she ended up coming in second in the 100. So I saw a lot of people criticize. First of all, I don't care if she got a silver. That is the highest medal that an American woman has gotten since 2000. Right. So first of all, she should be applauded for that. Secondly, she didn't get to warm up. And if anybody's ever ran track and field, or ran. Let me say you don't run the field, but anybody who's ran track knows if you don't warm up,
right,
you ain't. Yeah,
and you could clearly see as she didn't get out the blocks,
right.
Like she normally would.
Yeah. But I felt like it was. I mean, she got the silver. It is what it is. Now, she'll run in the 4x1, but she didn't qualify for the 200. And I mean, they'll probably win in a 4x1. You know, who knows? Because, you know, I think their biggest competition are the Jamaicans, and two of their top runners aren't running.
Did you see the mix 4x?
I missed it, but I saw the highlights.
Jesus Christ!
I mean,
it happens. I was screaming at the TV. I said, "Oh my God, she about to hawk."
Yeah, I mean, so it happens, man. It's you know, and you think about it. These athletes, they train pretty much for this moment. Like you got somebody like Noah Lyles again. He trained for a 10-second race. I'm sorry, a 9.79.
Right.
Oh, whatever, second race. So that's crazy. And I'm enjoying that. I think we only have a few more days left of the Olympics. And I'm telling you now, I will be at the Olympics in 2028. It's in LA.
Yeah,
it's in LA. I'm going. I don't know where Mike Love is. I'm staying at your house. I don't know where you're going. Don't move. If you're going to move, wait till 2029. Because I know the hotels is probably going to be crazy.
Oh, it's going to be.
And you know what? I'm going to be there. Hopefully, I can get some credentials. Somebody hook me up or hook us up. I don't care. I'm going to be there. I don't care. I'm going to be there. You can't buy your flight 4 years in advance. If I could, I would. But nah, I think that the Olympics in 2028 is going to be amazing. If you look at the facilities, and it's only going to get better. So they're gonna have the swimming events at SoFi. At SoFi, and that's going to be crazy. Then the basketball games are going to be played at the Clippers' new arena, which, you know,
that arena was sick. I saw some they were showing when Paul George was going through free agency. They were showing what the new stadium looked like. And I was just like, man, the experience that
we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go to the game this year. To a game this year.
It is now on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little football.
Okay.
All right. So 2 stories that have been dominating the headlines. You got Brandon Ayuk in this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it came out today that the Patriots wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, never mind.
I thought the Patriots said no, never mind.
Nah, he said no, never mind.
Allegedly, but whatever.
Well, I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to play for the Patriots.
Right.
Now, they're saying the Steelers have a verbal trade agreement on the table.
So what happened to the Browns?
I think the Browns are still in the running.
Okay. Yeah, Browns and the Steelers. Are you nervous?
No.
See, here we go with this. So y'all don't need them? Is that what you're about to tell me?
So, I'll be honest, right? Ayuk is the X factor of the 49ers. Can he be just as good by himself? That remains to be seen.
He wouldn't be by himself with the Steelers. Yeah. Or the Browns. He wouldn't be by himself. Listen, the Browns, if the Browns get Ayuk, and Deshaun Watson could somehow finds Houston, and listen, and if Nick Chubb comes back, and it doesn't matter if Nick Chubb doesn't come back. Ford is still a damn good back. They still got Njoku. They still got Amari Cooper and a bunch of other guys.
So what they're talking about with the Browns is giving up Amari Cooper for Ayuk because he's got like an expiring contract, and it makes sense.
I wouldn't do it.
I forgot who they signed as their other receiver. They got somebody else that
The
they
Browns?
just picked up in free agency.
The Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it's a pretty good receiver. But so Ayuk is our X factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
What allows him to be good is he is good, but playing with Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and having him, it just all fits. I think that there will be a drop off without
Jerry Jeudy
Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, okay. So yeah, him and Jerry Jeudy, that would be
and Elijah Moore.
yeah, that would be a heck of a combination. But the X factor with that is Deshaun Watson, man. I mean, I don't think he's ever going back to Houston days.
But we don't know. We don't. But I say this: they got 4 black quarterbacks. That's kind of intriguing.
So Deshaun Watson, is this his 3rd or 4th season removed from Houston?
This will be number 3. Because the first season he only played like the last 4 games or something like that, and then last season, and then now this season.
So last season he had the full season. Well, no,
he got hurt
last season.
Yeah.
But he looked like he didn't look good.
No, he won some games, but he didn't look good. You're right. He beat the 49ers. He didn't look good though. It was they listen. The Browns' defense is elite.
I don't think he beat. He didn't beat the 49ers.
So who's the quarterback? Oh no, it was a backup because we was talking about it. It was like the 3rd string quarterback. I forgot. Yeah. I ended up. I bought a damn Browns hat just to troll you. I remember that.
But in reality, knowing what that defense ended up being for the season, I'm not going to say that they had the best defense last year, but they had one of the top. They were in the top 3 defenses.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, they have a really.
The Browns were a physical team. I want to tell you, and I'm just thinking back. The AFC, I think this is the AFC North. Pittsburgh, we beat Pittsburgh, but the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals all gave us losses. That division, I don't know if it's the most physical division.
Oh, it's the best division. It's the best division in football. Yeah. I mean, at least last year, it was the best division in football.
Yeah, and just the reality is that division, like you have to be a tough team. And we consider ourselves a tough team, but all of those games, those teams, I wouldn't even say outplay us, but I say that they punked us.
And think about this. Y'all beat the Steelers, right? The Ravens, who's probably been the class of that division, they can't beat the Steelers to save their life. They done lost, I think, like 7 or 8 straight games to the Steelers.
Yeah, I heard an interesting stat. They were talking about the Steelers that only lost to the Browns in that division, but pretty much had beat everybody in that division. Because, you know, and I'll talk about it a little bit more. So Mike Tomlin, it feels like every year, like Steeler fans hate Mike Tomlin, the majority of them. But then you have the outside factors or the outside fans that look at Mike Tomlin like, no, he's a pretty good coach. But I guess that, like, if you're a Steeler fan, you just get tired of barely making the playoffs or being one and done. So he's always in an interesting predicament every season. So let me ask you. So you got Russell Wilson, who's not going to play this Saturday. You got Justin Fields. Mike Tomlin says that Russell Wilson will be the quarterback 1. Yeah. Do you believe that? Or do you think Justin Fields is going to be the quarterback 1?
For game 1? Who do they play?
That's a good question.
I think that Russell Wilson is QB1, and he should be QB1. I think Justin Fields could possibly be the future, but I think that Russell Wilson gives the Pittsburgh Steelers the best chance to win this season. And the health of TJ Watt. But it's mainly TJ Watt. But as far as quarterback play, Russell Wilson. Now, I'm not saying that Justin Fields can't be, but as we speak right now, Russell Wilson gives the Steelers the best chance. I think that they can win with both of them, but I think it'll be a little easier with Russell Wilson at quarterback.
So I agree, but my gut, and I'm having this weird instinct, I think Justin Fields is going to be our week 1 starter. I believe that right now Russell Wilson has not necessarily won that job. Like I think the organization is going to say, okay, he's the QB1. But I think Justin Fields is making enough case for himself to where if it's close enough, I believe they're going to go with the younger guy.
So they play in Atlanta for week 1. Oof.
That's going to be an interesting thing too. Do you think that Kirk Cousins is going to make the difference?
So before we get to that, I want to respond to you. You want to place a little wager on the Steelers starting QB?
What is the wager? I've been losing a lot. You know, I don't even like the bet because I don't like to lose enough.
What could the bet be? I don't know. I mean, I
think we could go good old fashioned cap.
Okay.
Good old fashioned cap.
All right. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. As far as the Falcons, I think Kirk Cousins is gonna. So we have our season preview show coming up soon. So I don't want to give too much away, but I do think that they have upgraded their quarterback position. I feel like with Kirk Cousins, he's good enough to get them over whatever. I don't want to make sure this ain't no. I just want to make sure we ain't getting no breaking news. Oh, DK Metcalf. All right, whatever. But I feel like they've upgraded. I mean, I think a lot of people feel like Atlanta's talented enough at the skill positions to make some noise. And getting Kirk Cousins now, Michael Penix, I don't really understand that, but it is what it is. But Kirk Cousins is, I mean, Michael Penix looked good too. So either way, even if they started with Michael Penix, it's still an upgrade from Ritter, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I agree, right? Because you look at Kyle Pitts, you look at Bijan Robinson, you look at Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely have a lot of talent at skill positions. And you look at Kirk Cousins, even though I've always been critical of him, I guess my only concern is he is coming off of a major surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a rust component there. But even with that, it is a major upgrade. Now, you triggered something that was more interesting, right? So, of course, it's no secret because we talk about it every week. We do the Madden franchise league. So I'm going to tie this in the real life, right?
Okay.
So the one thing that I've learned is if you get a young quarterback, you got to play him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So typically, you don't draft a quarterback in the first round unless you intend to play him.
Mm-hmm.
Rationale is that at some point you got to make a decision. If they're going to be your guy, then you can capitalize on when you don't have to pay your quarterback with surrounding them with the pieces to be successful.
Yeah.
If they turn out to be your guy, then you can follow the Saints mentality to where you pay your quarterback. I'll say the Saints and the Patriots. And you could always restructure your quarterback's deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot easier to restructure your quarterback's deal because it's a lot more money. And then you can kick everything down the can, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So when that quarterback retires, and then you can always surround that player with more pieces. Your quarterback could take less money and get more money in the future. It's just a lot easier to negotiate with the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So the Falcons, for whatever reason, have bypassed that. Now,
Right.
to your point, for where they got him in the draft, it could be a smart move. You do have Kirk Cousins that's coming off major a major surgery, right?
Yep.
You don't know how he's going to recover, and it does give you a backup plan. So it's
I feel like Michael Penix is first of all it feels like he's just as old as Kirk. but we'll see. You know, we have the preseason. We're gonna get a lot of Michael Penix and we ain't gonna get no Kirk Cousins, right? So we'll be able to see like, oh, he's the man, because he's more than likely gonna be playing against some number ones, right? So I mean, I'm interested to see. I'm excited for camp. I mean, for preseason games. I didn't really watch the Hall of Fame game because I didn't want to, but I have questions, right? I'm telling you now, this is just my personal opinion. I don't want to see that kickoff in the NFL. I don't mind seeing that kickoff in the XFL or the UFL. I don't want to see it in the NFL. It just doesn't look right. It just looks, I don't know. It looks too gimmicky for me. Let's go back to the regular kickoff, and I don't know if that's going to be during the season or if it's well, no, they're going to do it for the year, and then they go from there. They're going to talk about it after the season. But to me, it's one of those things that's not going to hit from the XFL or the UF. I mean, UFF. The UFL. The crazy part is the XFL and the USFL merged, right? Created the UFL. The NFL then took the XFL's kickoff, right? The UFL took the daggone NFL's kickoff. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I feel like I don't think it's gonna work. I just don't think it's gonna work. I feel that it's just too. I don't want to say it's gimmicky. It just looks stupid in the NFL.
Right.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but I don't mind watching it in the UFL, USFL, XFL, whatever. I don't mind watching it then, but it just looks weird with the NFL. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the camera angles. I don't know, but it doesn't look right. And I hope that they get to game one and they make an executive decision and say, let's go back to our regular kickoff, and maybe even move the kickoff back, whatever. I just don't like the way it is right now.
So I got a question for you, because we got 5 minutes, and I know this question is going to burn you up. All seriousness, Dak Prescott.
What about him?
Does Dallas get the deal done? Because I'm having concerns.
Concerns? I'm not concerned at all.
I don't think Jerry Jones is going to pay that.
Okay. And somebody else will. He is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL next year. So let me ask you this, because I'm gonna address that because I had a feeling that we was gonna start talking about camp and you was gonna bring that up. I'll name these quarterbacks, and you tell me if you would take these quarterbacks or would you take Dak as your starting quarterback. Cool?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins.
I'll take that.
Trevor Lawrence.
So, no, hold on.
Why did you give me an explanation?
No,
Go ahead. I want to hear this.
Dak is better, but Lawrence because of his age. Because of his age.
No. We just talking about this season. Forget his age. Age don't matter. We talking about this season. If you had to take a quarterback.
Okay, so this season, I'll take that.
Okay. Jordan Love.
I'll take that.
Okay. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts can't even beat Dak. So Jalen Hurts has never beat Dak in a head-to-head matchup.
I like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you would, and you're gonna lose. Because if Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott are playing in the same game,
I like Jalen Hurts.
okay.
All right, so
Okay.
that's unfair.
So you take Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen.
Josh.
Okay. CJ Stroud.
I'm gonna go CJ.
Okay. And my last one. Oh no, I got two more. Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna take that because Aaron Rodgers is an unknown right now.
Okay. And lastly, Joe Burrow.
Taking Joe Burrow.
So why would you take Dak over Aaron Rodgers, but Joe Burrow over Dak? I mean, they both had injuries. Joe Burrow's, we don't know what's going to happen with his wrist. But nonetheless, you chose him. So I say that, my fault. Justin Herbert. I don't even know.
I'm going Dak.
Yeah, I was about to say. So out of all those guys that you said, I would probably only take Joe Burrow over Dak. Maybe. And that's maybe. But people are gonna take Josh Allen, but that's a media thing. To me personally, seeing them both play, I think Dak's a better quarterback. Everybody wants to bring up the playoffs. Everybody wants to bring up the Super Bowl. But there's only 4 quarterbacks in the league active that's actually won the Super Bowl. 4, yeah. Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I'm forgetting somebody. Help me out. Matt Stafford. That's it. Everybody else. Every other quarterback in the league has not won a Super Bowl. Most of them haven't even been to a Super Bowl. So in regards to Dak's deal, they would have to offer me an extraordinary amount for me to sign if I'm Dak, because you have the opportunity to be an unrestricted free agent. You ain't got to worry about being franchise tagged. You ain't got no trade clause. You ain't got to worry about being traded. You got all of these things. So why would you sign? Why would you sign? Because if they wanted to sign you and they wanted to be respectful and give you listen, you got Jordan Love getting what, $55 million, and what has Jordan Love done to earn $55 million?
So I will agree with you there.
What has Trevor Lawrence done to earn whatever he's getting? What has Justin Herbert done to get what he's getting?
So I'm gonna agree with you there, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dak has done more. What worries me is the market. So I'll say this, right? A lot of teams are going to want Dak, but the question is, can you afford that? Because if you think about it, right? If Jordan Love, and we use this argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Jordan Love is getting $55 million,
Mm-hmm.
I would assume Dak is going to get $60 million. $65 million. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, this is reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you really, really start to break that down. It's only going to be a certain amount of teams that can afford them.
Not true.
So if you think about it this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either A, you have to believe that you're a Dak Prescott away from winning the Super Bowl.
Why does everything have to be the Super Bowl?
For the team? For the team.
Okay.
So if I've got pieces, let's say I'm on Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this was a year later and Atlanta was in the same situation, they easily paid Dak, right? Because as we spoke, right,
Mm-hmm.
they've got all the pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and they're envisioning, and in their mind was shit. We get Dak, now we're a playoff contender. You know what I mean? Maybe not a championship contender yet, but I like my shot of winning that division and doing what they got to do. So you're either going to be in that boat to where you're just a quarterback away, or you're not going to have many pieces because you're not paying anybody.
Well, that's where you're wrong. Because I can give you 3 teams right now that will pay Dak immediately. Immediately.
Okay.
First is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, we're aligned there. We're aligned there. Okay.
All right. Number two is the New York Giants. And I'm going to tell you something too about that. And Giants got pieces.
So hold on. The Giants got pieces. I thought you were going to go in a different direction.
I said 3 teams.
Yeah.
I said 3 teams. The third team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's interesting because those weren't the teams that I thought you were going to say.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking if the Arizona Cardinals don't have a good season with Kyler Murray, it's a possibility. Right?
They don't. Dak wouldn't do that to himself. Dak is going to some place where he can win. And Arizona ain't it. They don't have any pieces. They don't have and they don't have a good defense.
Yeah. Okay.
So those three teams that I told you all have good defenses.
So I think like this, right? So you've posed like many scenarios that could come true. I think we both agree that there will be a market for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, that's what he's doing. Listen, Dak and his people are not stupid. Listen, because they could have signed a deal, but no. For what?
Yeah, there'll be a market for him. Will it be every single team? No. You
don't have to be.
I'm just saying, just the way that it breaks down. What I'm concerned with, and I don't think Dak is concerned with it because he realizes that regardless, he's going to be good. I personally hope the Cowboys figure out how to get this done.
I think it's going to get done. But so here's the problem. People may not agree with me. They may agree with me. The problem is the Jones family. It's not just Jerry, because he ain't the only one that makes. Yes, he's the mouthpiece. But he ain't the only one that makes the decisions. His son, Steven, also makes decisions. Now, a lot of people like to say, "Oh, Steven, he keeps his dad in check, yada yada yada," but sometimes it's the other way around. And Jerry Jones is doing what I would do, what you would do, what all our friends that have kids, they will take the abuse for their child, but there shouldn't have to be any abuse if they just shut the hell up and make the Cowboys are worth the most money of any sports franchise in the United States of America. And they don't spend a dime. They have been number 32 the last 5 years in spending money in free agency. The last 5 years, the Cowboys, they don't spend any money. And that's why I said earlier, this year, that if they would have traded Dak, I would have followed Dak. And it ain't because I am a fan of Dak, yes. And I am also a realist, but I'm also, listen, this relationship that I've been in with the Cowboys is just,
it's abusive.
It's sometimes, sometimes I just need it. Sometimes I just say, why do I do this to myself?
You know what brought this up? I was listening to Jerry Jones talk about Dak. And, he said something along the lines of, he doesn't have to have a contract to be great. He could prove to be great here. And I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, Dak on this show, for all intents and purposes, he's caught strays, he's caught abuse over the years. I've talked a lot of crap about Dak But when you take your fan cap off and you kind of just look at the situation, you look at what's going on, you're like, there's no reason why he shouldn't get his money. I just being that objectively looking at it, I don't get it. And I do get they got to pay Micah Parsons. That deal doesn't have to get done, but I will say if they don't pay Micah Parsons, they're going to end up paying more because I think it's some.
Listen, we've seen this, Scott. Listen, we've seen this already. Let's just go back to 2016, right? Let's go back to 2016. When they drafted Zeke, they drafted Dak. They got drafted in the same draft, and since then, we've seen Zach Martin hold out and get paid. We've seen Ezekiel Elliott hold out and get paid. We've seen all these guys hold. We've seen Dak Prescott. And the thing is, with Dak, they wouldn't have to pay him $160 million for 4 years. They could have signed him, gave him an extension 2 years earlier, and did what they had to do. But they wanted to be stubborn. Now they put themselves in this situation, and all Dak and his people did was take advantage of the situation. You know. Now think about this. Think about this for a second. In 2018, the Cowboys win the division. Yeah, we won the division. Or did we? I can't remember. Nonetheless, we beat the Seahawks, and then we played the Rams. That's the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl. The following year, after that season, Cowboys were okay or whatever, but they should have paid Dak. They should have just gave him an extension. They had the opportunity to give him an extension, and it was like, yo, just pay him. Don't franchise him. That doesn't get a new deal. Right? He gets franchised. Next year he gets hurt. The biggest thing that everybody said, oh my God, he got hurt. And the worst thing that could happen to the Cowboys happened. And we look like pure trash, right? We look like pure trash that season. And it just so happens that the division was just pure trash that year. And we ended up like a game out of, I think the Commanders or football team at that time won a division at 7-8. 7-9. And we were like 6-10. It was terrible. Yeah, so still didn't have a top 10 pick. But nonetheless, they had to overpay at that point. I don't think it's overpaying. I think
at the time, it was $40 million.
It was 40 a year. It was 4 years, 160, right? So,
but at the time, it was considered overpayment. But to your point, they could have got the deal done sooner.
He could have got $32 million a year.
Yeah.
Gave him an extension. It would have been first of all, $32 million now is for a backup damn near. It's like, so I feel like you have Dak. To me, Dak Prescott is a proven entity in the NFL. He's you can say what you want about Dak. He's done a lot, and he's made careers. People could say. So
this is the reality, right? And I'll have to agree with you. The reality is franchise quarterbacks do not just drop out of the sky.
Correct.
A lot of us have witnessed just bad quarterbacks.
You have?
Like,
I have.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of a team, unless you're a Packers fan, right? Because it seems like the Packers are the only ones that can find a way to get. So aside from the Packers, you have seen some bad. So now you got people like the Chiefs. Don't listen. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is the man, but you've had some bad years with some bad quarterbacks because Trent Green wasn't that good. Trent Green wasn't, so you got the Saints going through it right now. Do not take a franchise quarterback for granted. Listen, it's hard to win a Super Bowl in the NFL.
Look at what the Giants are going through.
First of all.
No.
Yeah, no, but you're right. You're right. Yeah,
he's a winning quarterback. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lot of teams out there that maybe their quarterback isn't the best in the league, but if you got a top 10 quarterback, you gotta get Dak to the Niners. Who's more upset? I think you would be more upset.
I would definitely be more upset.
Yeah,
I would definitely be more upset.
You know what? if that ever happened, I would have a Dak 49er jersey on this show.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, so hey, that would be the last episode of Off the Record. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Jersey. Now, I like our quarterback. I don't think we need Dak, but this is another situation. But Dak, he does deserve better. Hopefully,
I hope
the Cowboys do the right thing. So here's the thing, right? I believe in my heart he should retire a Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to do whatever he's got to do to get paid, and if he feels disrespected, I get it. But I don't want to see him have to go somewhere else unless. Now I want to tell you.
If
he goes somewhere else, I'm going to root for him to get a Super Bowl.
It's going to happen. If he goes somewhere else, they're going to fuck. Oh my God.
That's the only thing I'm telling you. If the Cowboys do not do right by this guy, and he walks out of the stadium, whatever team he
Cowboy,
for,
just get the deal done next week. Yeah.
Team.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm telling you right now. The worst thing, because if that ends up being a free agent, I promise you, on the first day of free agency, they have the legal tampering. The Giants are going to give him like 4 years, like 4 years. What, like 305 or some shit like that. It's going to be 4 years, 300 or something like that, right? They're going to give him that immediately. They're going to fire Dable, right? Because that means they're going to fire Dable. They already got neighbors and some weapons offensively. They're going to fire Dable. They're going to hire somebody like Bill Belichick or what's the old Titans coach?
Was Mike Variable?
Was it?
It was Mike.
Whatever. Yeah, him.
The Patriots middle linebacker.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're gonna hire one of those two guys. They're gonna get a offensive coordinator extraordinaire, and Jesus Christ.
So look.
Oh my God.
So look.
If that goes to the Giants, we are screwed.
Yeah, we're gonna follow that story closely. I as a friend, and I sincerely mean this, I hope that they get this done, and I hope that he's able to retire like a Cowboy. And I'll be the first to tell you, if they do not get this deal done, I hope before Jerry Jones leaves this earth, he wins a Super Bowl, and I would buy whatever fuck Cowboy shirt that he should wear, and I will personally send it to him. They have to get this right. They have to get this right.
So yeah.
And I've heard some delusional Cowboy fans, and look, again, football season, we're not quite there, so I can talk objectively. They're out of their mind if they think that they shouldn't get this deal done. It's people out there. It is people out there that really, truly believe that y'all might be better without him.
And it's stupid. I don't talk to those people.
You might not hear them.
No. I've seen it. Trust me, I've seen it, and I don't talk to those people because they're not logical. They don't make any sense because those are the people that, like we just talked about, take a franchise quarterback for granted because let's think about this for a second. From the time Troy Aikman retired to the time Tony Romo became the starter, it was bad in Dallas. It was. We had coke heads, we had baseball pitchers, we had
you guys had, it wasn't Chad Henne, it was Drew.
We did have Chad Henne.
Oh,
No, we didn't have. No, we had.
What's the baseball player from Michigan?
Yeah. It was what the hell is his name?
Can't get right Carter.
Quincy Carter. We had it was bad. We had Bledsoe.
Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, man. It was bad. I don't want to go back to that, yo. I don't. So two things before we get up out of here. Drew Henson. Yeah. So two things before we get out of here. This. All right, because I ain't gonna say the thing that make it last. So we're gonna talk about it. Not maybe next week. And I want a lot of people to think about this. So there was something that we saw in the group chat. It was in LA. This guy got pulled over. He didn't get pulled over, but the cop came up to his car because he was double parked and things like that. And the cop ended up punching the guy in the face and stuff like that. And we'll talk about it. I think because it was a lively debate between. I didn't get to debate you on it, and I think our good friend Smalls, we had a lively debate. I think I was on my way to Philly. I forget where I was at, but I was on my way to Philly actually, and he had a good idea. He said we should bring it up on the show, and have people lively, chime in. So we'll post a link.
So how about this, right? Because I have my thoughts, and I heard Smalls' sake. So before you guys had your lively debate, me and him kind of talked. I think next week what we should do, or the next episode that we air, is post a video on here, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So and we can do that. Because I think it was a good idea.
He has some good points.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea because yes, we are a sports show. We all know that. But I mean, some of those debates are needed, right? Or some of those I don't want to say debates. Some of those discussions are needed, right? So we'll talk about it because I'll tell you this before I get off of this. I got a lot of friends that's been in the military, and boy, oh boy, we do not agree on a lot of stuff.
So that's what I told Small. I think it's a military.
I'm telling you, man, it's so crazy because
when we were so it was funny. He gave me his take, and I laughed, and he was like, "You think the same thing?" I said,
Yep. Listen, the crazy thing is when I posted it in our group, I knew I said, I tagged Smalls, but I knew where you was gonna go. I knew it. I've known you guys for so long. I knew where you guys were going with. But again, we're gonna talk about that, and we may do it on a separate. It may not even be on Wednesday. We may keep Wednesday. It may be a Friday or a Thursday or something like that because we're gonna talk about this again. and we do want people to chime in. Because and you'll join it, you'll be right next to us. Maybe not in the same room, but you'll have a little rectangle box on the screen, and you'll get to get your point across. So
you know what it is. Before we kind of get too far into it, military and police training is very similar.
No, I mean that's fair.
So I think sometimes your mind can be conditioned to look at it from their optics and not always the other optics.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. So, hey, look. Hey. I'm gonna kick their ass in this debate. I can't wait. But anyway, so this last thing right here is gonna make you laugh. It's gonna make you laugh. And I know some of the coaches that I coach with at Wakefield, they may be watching this. And if they're not watching it, they're gonna watch it later. So they're gonna see this, and they know we talked about it. So earlier today, in between our 2 days, in between our practice, had a coach. So first of all, we got coaches on the staff that's never even seen the program. You've seen the program before, right? Yeah, exactly. You see the face. That's the face I made when they said, I don't even know what that is. First of all, they said they didn't even know what it was. It is what it is.
So before you get into that, would you consider that one of the greatest football movies?
Yes.
Of all time? Okay.
Yes.
All right, okay. I thought I was.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, they haven't even seen. I mean, and I can understand Wildcats more than the program, right? But Wildcats is like, how you not see Wildcats? But whatever. Anyway, I'm telling my age. So anyway, so we were talking football. I mean, not football. We was talking somehow.
Every locker room watched the program during like training camp or during. It just.
They were born in the 90s too, so I guess out.
But still,
Hey, you know what, Scott? You'll be as confused as I am. So, but nonetheless,
is the program on a streaming service?
I would think so. I'm gonna look it up. I'll find out. I don't know.
I believe I probably have it on a DVD.
I definitely have it. So we were talking, and I forget how the conversation about LeBron came up, right? So the one coach said, I don't like LeBron's attitude. He cried, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I said Jordan cried. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said I'm a Bulls fan, so I said, but Jordan cried. He was like, yeah, I don't like LeBron. So I think he was trying to get me mad, right? He's like, LeBron, he's like, don't let the media hype you up. I said, I am the media. I looked at him I said, I am the media. But anyway, he was like, yeah, it's hard for me to even say this. This man said, John Wall is better than LeBron. Oh. I would take John Wall over. Then listen, it gets even worse. Then he said John Wall is a better leader than LeBron. I said, don't ever talk to me about sports ever in your life again. So eventually he was like, I just like John Wall as a player. I said,
I like John Wall too. Listen, that's borderline smoking crack.
Yeah, exactly, right. And I said, dude, don't even take LeBron's whole career. Take the year that John Wall got you, because he's like, John Wall was a number one pick. I said, so was LeBron. He was like, so anyway, I said you could take from the year John Wall was drafted to his last year, because his last good year was in Washington. So just take all his Washington years, right? Don't even take because he didn't even play in Houston. I don't even, who did he go to after Houston? I don't even remember.
So
because Houston did get rid of him.
It might have been Houston, and then he played with the attempting to play with the Clippers.
Okay, so let's just take his Washington years, right? LeBron got more points, assists, rebounds. Then he just like he hates LeBron, and I'm like, I get it, but you don't like. So you have a bias, so you're gonna say you are on drugs, and he eventually was like, yeah, I was just letting my pride get in the way because John Wall is one of my favorite players. And I was like, he could be one of your favorite players, but John Wall isn't even the top. I don't know if he's a top 20 point guard. I don't even think he's a top 20 point guard of all time. Top 20? No.
No, but I'm just thinking, would you put him in the top 50?
LeBron is a better point guard than John Wall.
Yeah. John, and this is no disrespect to John Wall. John Wall.
He might see this and curse us out.
Yeah, no. John Wall was official. So, yeah.
He was a good player. No, yeah, he was a good player.
Top 50 was disrespectful.
That was disrespectful.
But even John Wall will admit
of all time, you got to think about this. Because I'm almost certain I can name 20 point guards that I would take before I would take John Wall.
Yeah, you probably could. I mean, it's probably 20 point guards in the Hall of Fame. You know, I would have to.
John Wall ain't in the Hall of Fame.
No, so I believe John Wall could have been a Hall of Famer had he not gotten hurt.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. John Wall, he got a $100 million contract, and he got paid in Washington. He got paid,
and he lived up to his contract in Washington. I just don't think that. And we talked about at the beginning of the show, like sometimes the NBA schedule takes a toll on your body, and you get
Right.
those injuries to where John Wall, you know, he would be good for 40 games, but he'd be hurt a lot, you know, toward the end of his career. But nah, I think that's like one of those players, and he's probably too big of a name. But like if you saw like in the TBT like tournament, I guarantee he'd go out there and give buckets.
But listen, Eric Bledsoe was giving guys buckets.
Because
So,
I
listen.
saw some workouts of when he was trying to get back on the court.
I remember.
when he was in Houston.
He was moving. He was
Nah,
moving.
he was cooking out there.
Yeah, nah. Yes, John Wall is a better point guard than White. Then Jason Williams. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's not even a conversation.
What? All right, now let's not be disrespectful to John Wall. All right, come on now. All right, come on now.
Yeah,
John Wall was a number 1 overall
Yeah,
pick.
yeah,
We're not
doing this.
we're not
doing this.
no, we're not.
Yo, it's time
Like,
to wrap the show.
I think it's time to go.
Yeah,
I think it's time
sometimes
because
you want to win arguments.
Yeah,
I get the LeBron, but like, you can't disrespect.
Oh,
You can't
Jesus Christ. This
disrespect
man-
John Wall like
oh Jesus Christ.
that.
Now, you would have said Kyrie Irving.
Nah, watching Washington, John Wall will always be one of my favorite players as well. I would never compare him to LeBron James, but
Right.
nah, I mean, he gave the Wizards a lot of good years, man.
Yeah,
So
I remember-
always appreciate
I
that.
remember going to a game. It was a playoff game. They were playing the Raptors. Matter of fact, this was 2018. And I can't remember if Paul Pierce was there at that time.
Yeah,
In 2018. So it was a game. I want to say it was. So here's the thing. It was the day before Xavier was born. So it was April 22nd, 2018. They were playing the Raptors, and DeMar DeRozan was killing, but John Wall was. I want to say John Wall was there. He played in that game, and
yeah, because that team had John Wall, Bradley Beal,
Mhm.
Paul Pierce.
They had,
Otto Porter,
yeah,
I believe, was still there.
and I will say this, yo, going to an NBA game, being live at the game, and as close as we've been like these last few years, and you see how fast some of these guys are, right? I remember seeing John Wall get an outlet pass and get up the court. It was about 20 seconds left on his shot clock when he shot the ball. And it was like a layup. It wasn't like it was a jumper, like a three. No, it was a layup. And I said, I couldn't beat him in a race. He is fast. He got up and down the floor so fast. Like somebody like I remember me and Jamal went to a King. I don't think you went. It was Kings Wizards. And De'Aaron Fox got the ball and got up the court so fast. And I said, yo, these guys are ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So nonetheless, we're not gonna disrespect John Wall like that. John Wall, he ain't LeBron James, but that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was.
And I almost got that coach fired today for saying some bull.
I would have fired him.
It was ridiculous, man. So every coach looked at him like, anyway. Shout out to Coach Q. That's my guy, though. You know, I didn't mean to say. But I tell you what, you know who he looked like? He looked like Jazz from Bel Air. He always wears shades at practice. He cool. He a DB coach, young guy, and we got a bunch of good coaches. I'm gonna get the coaches on the show one day, and let them talk a little trash. But anyway, that was fun, man. We ain't recorded in a while. You know, we got lost track of time. This man said we had 5 minutes left 30 minutes ago. But it happens, man. But this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
We out of here.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record. And the most accurate sports coverage. We off the record. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record. We off the
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.